session number 1 of lesson number 3, fiber to fabric. Today we are going to start this very interesting lesson, fiber to fabric. Okay, now we are on the page number 1. In class 6 you have learnt about some fibers obtained from plants. Before starting the lesson, basically you must know about the meaning of fiber. I think you have learned in detail in class 6 about the fiber. So we know that fibers can be obtained from the plants. You also learned that wool and silk fibers are obtained from animals. As we get the fiber from plants, we also get the fiber from animals. That is, we get the wool and silk from the animals. Wool is obtained from fleece, that is hair of sheep or yak. Actually, when we think about the fibers and especially about the animal fibers, then it can be divided into two types, that is wool fiber and silk fiber. So wool is obtained from the fleece, that is hair of sheep or yak, and the silk fibers come from cocoons of silk moth. I think we have seen it, how the silkworm is used to obtain the silk fiber, that we have discussed in the previous standards. Do you know which part of the sheep body yields fiber? Are you aware how these fibers are converted into woolen yarn that we buy from the market to knit the sweaters? Many times we wear the sweaters. Now we know that just now the rain has started, and due to that we feel cold, and we give the preference to wear the sweater to prevent ourselves from the cold. So for these sweaters, if we want to prepare the sweaters, we need the sweaters from woolen yarn, and this woolen yarn we get it from fibers. So do you know the method how the fiber is converted into the woolen yarn and how the woolen yarn is converted into the sweaters? We don't have the exact idea about it, so we are going to study it in detail about this. Okay, do you have any idea how the silk fiber are made into silk, which is worn into saris? We all know about the silk saris. You may have heard also. In your family also, your mother or your auntie may have the silk sari. So this silk sari is made from silk fiber. Then to get the idea about how the silk fibers are made into silk and how the silk is converted into the silk saris, we are going to study it in detail. In this chapter we shall try to find the questions and answers related with the fiber to fabric. Okay, so animal fiber, wool and silk. Animal fiber, wool and silk. So now we are going to start the point wool. Okay, basically you know the little amount of the ideas related with the wool. So this wool comes from sheep, goat, yak and some other animals. Wool comes from sheep, goat, yak and some other animals. So these wool yielding animals bear hair on their body. Do you know why these animals have thick coat of hair? Whenever we think about the wool, we think about their sources. So wool is obtained actually from the animals. So the animals are the sources, like sheep, goat, yak and some other animals. They are the sources actually for the wool. So these wool yielding animals, they bear hair on their body. Many times we see some animals have their strong hair or a thick layer of hair on their body. So the question must be prepared in our mind, that why these animals have a thick coat of hair on their body. Here I just told you the idea how to frame the question. You can see on the textbook in the point wool, the fourth line, the question actually they have prepared here. They are going to talk about it. Why these animals have a thick coat of hair on their body? What is the use of this thick hair for that animal? Hair trap a lot of air. We know that. As they have the thick layer of hair on the body, this hair trap the air. Hair trap the lot of air. And we know it, air is a poor conductor of heat. So as you would learn in chapter 4 more about it, but before that you must know about it that air is a poor conductor of heat. So hair keeps these animals warm. As the hair have the capacity to trap the lot of air, and also this trapped air is a poor conductor. It keeps the animal warm. So animals generally have the thick hair of or thick layer of hair on the body. So you should know about it. Okay, why the animals have the thick coat of hair. And the wool is derived from these hairy fibers. As these hairs are important for the animals, they are very important for us also. In which manner? As you know that we are going to obtain the wool from these hairy fibers. Okay, now let me see the activity number 3.1 that you have to perform. You can fill it. Okay, activity number 3.1. Feel the hair on your body and arms and those on your head. You have to feel the hair on your body. You have to feel it on arms. You have to feel it on your head. So, do you find any difference when you feel the hair at different parts of the body? Which one seems coarse and which one is soft? If we feel the hair at different places, we will feel that the hair present at every part of the body is different. So, in the same manner, it is also related with the animals. Like us, the hairy skin of the sheep has two types of fibers that form its fleece. As hair present on head of the human, they are different from the hair present on other body parts. Like that same hairy skin of the sheep has two types of fibers that form its fleece. Number 1, the coarse beard hair, and number 2, the fine soft under hair close to the skin. They are the two kinds of hair mostly found in the sheep. The fine hair provide the fibers for making wool. Now which one is important for making the wool? Basically, the coarse beard hair, they are not that much important for us, but the fine under hair or the fine hair, they are very important for us. The fine hair provide the fibers for making wool. Some breeds of sheep possess only fine under hair. As you know that if we think about the general sheep, that general sheep will bear two kinds of the hairs. They will be coarse and they will be smooth. Okay, but some special sheeps are there, they only bear the under fine hairs. So these are very important for making the wool. Some breeds of sheep possess only fine underhair, and the parents are specially chosen to give birth to sheep which have only soft underhair. To get actually soft underhair, especially the parents are selected to give the birth to sheep which have only soft underhair. So this is the process for selection of those parents which give the birth to the sheep which have only soft underhair. So this process of selecting parents for obtaining special characters in their offspring, such as soft underhair in sheep, is termed selective breeding. So here we have got one concept, that is the selective breeding. See, what is the selective breeding? Selective breeding is the process of selecting parents for obtaining special characters in their offspring, such as soft underhair in sheep, is termed as selective breeding. So this also you can underline. See, whatever I am teaching, wherever we get the important point, any question, just note it down in your notebook time to time, and also write the answer of that question. Okay, very quiet, just point out the points, underline it, write the important points. Okay, follow this method. Here you can see the figure 3.1, sheep with a thick growth of hair. Sheep with thick growth of hair, you can understand here. I think you have seen it in daily life also, about the sheep, how the hairs are present on their body, which are very thick. Okay, now we are going to start the next point: animals that yield wool. Animals that yield wool. Several breeds of sheep are found in different parts of a country. We are going to study it in detail when we go on the page which contain the table 3.1. We know that the local breed or the local breed of sheep mostly found in the our area, it gives the specific type of the wool, but we also know that the breeds of sheep are found in all over the different parts of the country. So they have the different quality, their species is different, and the wool we get from that particular sheep is also different. So we are going to study it. However, the fleece of sheep is not the only source of wool. The wool is commonly available in the market is the sheep wool. Actually, whenever we talk about the wool, the term comes in our mouth is only the sheep wool, but the fleece of sheep is not only the source of wool. We are not getting only the wool from the sheep, or we are not getting wool only from the sheep. As it is commonly available in the market, we call it sheep wool. We also get the wool from other animals, that is yak. Yak wool is common in the Tibet and Ladakh. We are now on the page number 25. We are not getting the wool only from the sheep, we are getting the wool also from yak and wool, which is common in Tibet and Ladakh. You can see the figures are given. Figure 3.2, which shows the yak, from that also we get the wool, and this yak is found in Tibet and Ladakh. Angora wool is obtained from Angora goats. You can see figure 3.3 where you can see the Angora goat. Angora wool is obtained from Angora goats. Figure 3.3, found in hilly regions. Where we see this Angora goats, it is found mostly in the hilly regions such as Jammu and Kashmir. So Angora goats lives in Jammu and Kashmir, and we get Angora wool from Angora goats. Okay, various pictures are shown on a screen of different kinds of animals which gives us wool. So you enjoy these pictures also, and just keep it in mind about their structure, about their special things. Okay, wool is also obtained from goat hair. Figure 3.4 you can see, which is a picture of the goat. Means wool is not only obtained from the animal that were discussed before, wool is also obtained from the goat hair. The under fur of Kashmiri goat is soft. It is woven into the fine shawls called Pashmina shawls. See, as we have discussed in the previous standards, I would like to underline it because in standard 4th we have discussed about the Pashmina shawls. You may have know about it. In standard 5th also you may have seen a little part of the Pashmina shawls. So the world famous Pashmina shawls are woven from Kashmiri goat because the under fur of Kashmiri goat is soft. So we should know about it. Okay. The fur on the body of camel is also used as wool. We can also obtain the hair present on the camel as a wool. Figure 3.5 you can see where they have shown the picture of camel. Then llama and alpaca found in South America also yield wool. You can see the figure 3.6 and 3.7. Llama and alpaca, they also give us wool. Their pictures are shown. Now I'm going to talk about the two activities, activity number 3.2 and activity number 3.3, that you have to perform. Activity number 3.2, collect pictures of animals whose hair is used as wool. Now just we have discussed about the animals which gives us wool. So you have to collect the pictures of those animals which gives the wool or whose hair is used as wool. You have to stick them in your scrapbook. If you are unable to get the pictures, try and draw them from the ones given in the book. Means if you are not getting the pictures of this particular animals which gives us the wool, you can draw these pictures. And also you have to do one more work, that is you have to find out the words for sheep, goat, camel and yak in your local language and also in the other language of a country. Just make a column. First column will be of serial number, second column name of animal from which we get the wool, then what is called them in the local language in your locality. Suppose I'm living in the Kolhapur, then which words are used for the particular animal in the Kolhapur, that is local language. And one more column you have to make, that what is called them in other part of the country. This type of this, make the column, make the chart and just complete the activity. Okay, activity number 3.2, where you have to stick the pictures of the different animals and you have to, if the pictures are not available, you have to draw the pictures and also find out the words for the sheep, goat, camel and yak in your local language and also in other language of a country what they are called. You have to also complete one more activity as the homework. Activity number 3.3, procure the outline maps of India and the world. You have to obtain the map of India and map of the world. Find out and mark the places on the map where you find animals that provide wool. Obtain the map of India and map of the world and find out the places where we obtain the animals which provide the wool. Find out the places and mark it on the map. For marking, use different colors to denote the locations for different wool yielding animals. If you want to mark the different animals or if you want to mark the different regions, use the different colors to denote locations for different wool yielding animals. Now, I think you have the idea about it, how to denote, how to mark the specific locations, specific marks on the maps. Okay, so today we have seen a little part about the wool, which animals gives us the wool, and also we have seen that how the different animals play the role to give the wool, and from which part of the different world we obtain this wool. We have seen. Okay, so just complete the homework and the activity and wait for the next session. Okay, thank you.